So very good morning students. Today we are going to start the chapter tissues. So first, before starting the chapter tissues, we have come across another chapter. We have studied another chapter, cells. So what we have studied, cells are the basic structural and fundamental unit of living organisms, and cell is the smallest part which cannot be further divided, like an atom in a molecule or atom in a non-living thing. Similarly, the cell in a living thing is the smallest division which cannot be further simplified. So what are tissues? Tissues are nothing, they are groups of similar cells which have similar structure and they perform similar works. So a group of cells similar in structure that work together to perform a particular function form a tissue. So many cells which are, first they have to be similar in structure and they have to work together and they need to perform a specific some particular function. So that group of cells we can call tissues. So all cells of a tissue have common origin. किसी भी टिश्यूज का जितने भी सेल्स होगा they have a common origin, because as you know cells can arise out of nowhere. Cells are formed out of pre-existing cells by cell division. A tissue may be simple or complex type. So we know a group of cells which have similar function, have similar origin, they form tissues, and tissues may be simple or complex. tissues उसका जो ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है, स्ट्रक्चर है, वो सिंपल भी हो सकता है और कॉम्प्लेक्स टाइप भी हो सकता है. ह्यूमन नर्वस टिश्यू हैज नर्व सेल्स और न्यूरॉन्स व्हिच आर बेसिकली सेम स्ट्रक्चरली एंड फंक्शनली. सो दिस इज ए human this is a nervous tissue, so we'll study it extensively in the later part of this chapter. So it is found in our nerve cells. Okay, so it is a nerve cell, so many nerve cells join together to form the nervous tissues. So human nervous tissue has nerve cells or neurons which are basically same structurally. So जितने भी nerve cells होगा nervous tissues के, because tissues cells form tissues, then many tissues together they form organ, and different organs coordinate together because no organs is independent of other. Every organ in one way or the other, every organ of our body is dependent on the other organs. So this type of many different nerve cells, they join together to form a nerve tissue. Then importance of tissues. Formation of tissues has brought about a division of labor in multicellular organisms. So as we have got in first chapter only, we have division of labor, such as we have in our body organization division of labor. We have means different organs or different tissues or different cells of our body are specialized to perform different works. Suppose lungs का काम क्या है? To take in oxygen, to breathe in oxygen, to breathe out carbon dioxide and supply oxygen to the cells, to the blood. So this is the function of the lungs. Then function of the heart is to pump blood throughout our body. Function of the kidneys is to filter blood and other waste products from our body. So then function of the liver is to help in digestion and secretion of hydrochloric acid and other substances. So there are different organs and organ system of our body which performs different functions. This is why we can say the multicellular organisms have division of labor. Tissues become organized to form organs and organs into organ systems. So different tissues different tissues, they join together to form organs, and organs and tissue or cells of a particular organ, suppose the tissues of heart or the tissues of lungs, the cells of the lungs will form tissues. That means many cells, they have to be similar in structure and function, they will form tissues, and the tissues will in turn form the organs, and these organs will coordinate and work along with each other, and they form a organ system. Workload of individual cell has decreased due to origin of tissues. So tissues means we have already known groups of cells. These groups of cells work together to perform some specific functions. So as work is being done by a group of cells, so जब हम किसी ग्रुप में कुछ काम करेंगे तब क्या होगा, एक कोई भी इंडिविजुअल पर्सन जो ग्रुप का होगा, ग्रुप मेंबर, किसी भी एक ग्रुप मेंबर का उसका क्या होगा, वर्कलोड कम हो जाएगा. अभी एक सपोज यू हैव वन वर्क यू हैव टू डू on your own, and the same work if it's made to do with 10%, then workload will decrease or not. Similarly, due to organization of tissues, the workload of individual cells decreases. As a result of improved organization and higher efficiency, multicellular organisms have higher survival. So we have many different types of cells. So these different types of cells, they combine to form different tissues. Okay, so our body organization is much complex, and its efficiency is much more higher. This is why we have the multicellular animals have higher survival period. They can survive or they can stay alive for a long period of time because of their body organization. So first in this chapter we'll have to learn different types of plant tissues and animal tissues. What are the different types of plant tissues or animal tissues, what is their occurrence, and what is their function. So we'll have to know these things. So first, plant tissues, it can be broadly divided into meristematic tissues and permanent tissues. So meristematic tissue matlab, see, the cells are capable of division. In case of the cells which form the meristematic tissue, they are capable of division throughout the life. And the meristematic tissues are of three types: apical meristem, intercalary, and lateral. Similarly, permanent tissues. In permanent tissues, although the immature cells are they divide, but when the cells become mature, they stop dividing, they become permanent. Okay, so this is why the term meristematic and permanent. So meristematic tissues, they are capable of division throughout their life, and permanent tissues, once they have grown, once they have become mature, they stop dividing. So permanent tissues are two types, simple and complex. So simple जो है, it is made up of single type of cells, एक ही तरह की cells से बने होंगे वो. And simple tissues are parenchyma, collenchyma, and sclerenchyma. And complex or compound, so they are made up of multiple types of cells, more than one type of cells, and it is xylem and phloem. So now we'll study these tissues one by one along with diagrams from the book. First, meristematic tissue. The tissues in which cells always keep dividing, giving rise to new cells, are called meristematic tissues. So as I have already said, in meristematic tissue में क्या होता है, the cells which make up the meristematic tissues, they always keep on dividing throughout the life. These tissues are responsible for the growth of the plants, and सपोज एक ऑर्गेनिज्म का ग्रोथ कब होगा, जब सेल डिवीजन होगा. When the cells will divide, then the size or volume of the organisms will keep on increasing. If the cells do not divide, if the cells do not grow, division means grow. If the cells do not grow, then how the organisms will grow? So this is why जो meristematic tissues, they are responsible for the growth of the plants. Plants grow only in those regions where meristematic tissues are present, and plants उसी region में ग्रो करते हैं जिस रीजन में क्या होता है, मेरिस्टेमेटिक टिश्यू प्रेजेंट होते हैं. ओके, एग्जाम्पल रूट एंड शूट टिप. सो प्लांट्स, as we the growth is seen as uniform in plants, but actually what happens, the plant grows in the direction of the root and the shoot only, root tips and shoot tips. So it is also called as growth tissue, और इसको हम growth tissue भी बोलते हैं. And where it is present, in the root tip मतलब the end point of the roots and the end point of the shoot or the stem. Then occurrence. Meristematic tissues are growth tissues and are found in the growing regions of the plant. So meristematic tissues, they are known as the growth tissues because they are responsible for the growth of the plants, because the cells of the meristematic tissue, they continuously keep on dividing, and it is found in the growing region of the plant. According to their position in the plant, meristems are apical, lateral and intercalary. So suppose this is a plant. So according to position of the meristematic tissues, they can be called as apical, lateral and intercalary. Apical मतलब जो एकदम टॉप के पोर्शन में जो होगा, the meristematic tissue which is present in the topmost position is the apical meristem. The meristematic tissue which are present between or the sides from which the branching occurs, it is the intercalary meristem. And the meristematic tissue which occurs lateral or sidewise, it is responsible for sidewise growth of the plants, lateral growth of the plants. So it is known as the lateral meristem. We'll study this extensively. Now the cells of the meristematic tissue have following characteristics. Cells of meristematic tissue are similar in structure and have cellulose cell walls. So if I can, okay, so see, this is a structure of a meristematic tissue. They are similar in structure and they have thin cellulose cell walls. They have a cell wall inside, there is cytoplasm and a nucleus is there. So their cell wall is made up of cellulose and they have similar structure. सभी meristematic tissues के देखो structure similar है. The meristematic cells may be spherical, oval, polygonal or rectangular in shape. They may be spherical, oval or polygonal, having many sides, or rectangular in shape. Rectangular भी हो सकते हैं. The meristematic cells are compactly arranged and do not contain any intercellular space between them. See here, they are compactly arranged means they are as close as these cells of the meristematic tissue, they are as close as possible to one another. There is no any intercellular space. Between two cells there is no space. Okay, they are compactly arranged. Each meristematic cell contains dense cytoplasm and a large nucleus. Vacuoles are generally absent. So the structure, they have a dense cytoplasm. Their cytoplasm are what? Densely packed, because they have high density in cytoplasm, and they have one nucleus. Just simple structure. There is no any vacuole or other cell organelles. So now let us discuss the types of meristematic tissue. So there are three types: apical, intercalary and lateral. We study one by one. So apical meristem, these are situated at the growing tip of stems and roots, that is at the shoot apex and root apex. Apex matlab tip. So this is a plant, so this is the root shoot tip and ये एक रूट का स्ट्रक्चर दिखाया गया है. दिस इज द रूट टिप. सो एपिकल मेरिस्टेमेटिक टिश्यू आर प्रेजेंट इन ग्रोइंग टिप ऑफ स्टेम्स. रूट के एकदम अपर, शूट के एकदम अपर मोस्ट पोजिशन में होगा एंड रूट के एकदम लोअर मोस्ट पोजिशन में होगा, बिकॉज द प्लांट grows upwards as well as downwards also. So apical meristems are also found at the apices of the leaves. So जो leaves होगा, जो leaves के apices मतलब एकदम end point में भी apical meristems होता है, because the leaves also grow. leaves भी grow होता है ना. एक कुछ भी प्लांट का जो पत्ता है वो पहले छोटा होता है, बाद में बड़ा होता है. How it grows? With the help of the apical meristem which is present in the tip or the topmost or the apex most position of a leaf. Then intercalary meristem, they are located at the base of leaves or internodes. So leaf जहाँ से स्टार्ट होता है, लीव्स या जहाँ से ब्रांचिंग शुरू होता है, ओके, उसको हम नोड्स बोलते हैं. इन ए प्लांट जहाँ से ब्रांचिंग शुरू होता है, सपोज ये एक ब्रांचिंग है, सपोज दिस इज ए ब्रांचिंग, वी call it as nodes, and the space between these two, this is one branching, this is one branching, and the space between this gap we will call as internode. This is one node, this is one node. दो नोड के बीच जितना भी स्पेस होगा उसको हम क्या बोलेंगे? इंटरनोड बोलेंगे. एंड इन दिस नोड्स intercalary meristems are present. It is responsible for the growth of the branches, okay, or the leaves. They are located at the base of the leaves or internode. Example, stems of grasses and other monocots, such tissues help in longitudinal growth or elongation of the plant. So this apical meristem, it is responsible for the longitudinal growth of the plant. Then lateral meristem. Lateral means it remains the meristematic tissue which is responsible for the increasing thickness of the plant, so that the plant grows sideways also laterally. So it is present on the lateral sides of stems and roots. वो stem में भी होते हैं and root में भी होते हैं. It helps in increasing the thickness or girth of the stem and root, so that the plant from small it grows large in thickness. For that, lateral meristematic tissues are responsible. Then functions of meristematic tissue. Meristematic tissues acts as a parental tissue, from which meristematic tissue acts as a parent tissue from which the other tissues develop. So meristematic tissues, they are the parent tissues. From meristematic tissue only the permanent tissues and some other types of tissues are developed. meristematic tissue से ही permanent tissue develop होता है. Meristematic tissue takes part in growth by formation of new cells. So meristematic tissue, they are capable of division throughout their life cycle, okay, and they take part in growth by formation of new cells. They keep on dividing continuously and they can form new cells. With the help of meristematic tissue, plants continue to produce new leaves, branches of stems and roots, flowers, fruits and root hairs. So meristematic tissue divide होने के वजह से ही plants, they continue to produce new leaves, because meristematic tissues are present in the tips of the leaves also. We have seen the apical meristem. So new branches are formed because they are the intercalary meristem, it is present in the nodes, and from nodes only new branchings are formed, branches of stems and roots, and flowers, fruits and root hairs. So these all develops in a plant with the help of meristematic tissues. The plans of injury in plant is healed up by the formation of new cells by the meristem. So in human beings also, suppose I have got cut here, so after some days the injury gets healed up automatically because of the cell division here. Due to cell division, the dead cells are, or dead or worn out cells are replaced by the new cells. Similarly, if there is an injury in the plant, so it heals up automatically after some days due to सेल डिवीजन which takes place there. and इस सेल डिवीजन के लिए कौन रेस्पॉन्सिबल है? मेरिस्टेमेटिक टिश्यू. The plants shoot lodged or bent by wind are made to grow upright by the activity of intercalary meristem. So जब storm होता है, when the shoot or the stem of a plant, okay, they are bent or they are deformed by wind, the leaves. So after some days the plant can heal itself automatically. And how it heals? Due to the division of the cells and the division of the meristematic tissue. Then we have permanent tissues. Yes. So what are permanent tissues? Permanent tissues are formed from the cells of meristematic tissue when they lose their ability to divide. So some meristematic cells may lose their ability to divide, or they do not divide throughout their life, and those meristematic tissue which stops division, they forms another type of tissue known as permanent tissue. इसको permanent क्यों बोलते हैं? क्योंकि the cells of this meristematic tissue, they are not capable of further division. Okay, and permanent tissue are formed from the meristematic tissue only. The developmental process by which cells derived from meristematic tissue take up a permanent shape, size and function is called differentiation. So the meristematic permanent tissues are formed from the meristematic tissues only, and the meristematic tissue, they take up a permanent shape, size and a specific function, and this process is known as differentiation. So in this way cells of meristematic tissue differentiate to form cells of permanent tissue. Okay, so in this way की क्या होता है, जो जितना भी मेरिस्टेमेटिक टिश्यूज के सेल्स है, they take up particular shape, they do a particular function. They cannot one permanent tissue cannot change its function. Okay, it's fixed in structure and function, and this is called the differentiation of the meristematic tissue. और मेरिस्टेमेटिक टिश्यू डिफरेंशिएट होने के वजह से क्या फॉर्म होता है? परमानेंट टिश्यूज. सो परमानेंट टिश्यूज सिमिलरली इट मे बी सिंपल और कॉम्प्लेक्स. सिंपल परमानेंट टिश्यू हम किसे बोलेंगे? सी, द परमानेंट टिश्यूज व्हिच आर मेड अप ऑफ सिंगल टाइप ऑफ सेल्स. सो परमानेंट टिश्यूज आर ऑफ 3 टाइप्स: parenchyma, collenchyma and sclerenchyma. It is simple permanent tissue. They are made up of single type of cells. Study first simple permanent tissue. It is made up of only one type of cells. एक ही तरह के cells से बने होंगे. Cells forming this tissue are similar in structure and function, and because of the same type, they are also similar in structure and in function. Simple permanent tissues are of the following 3 types. It is broadly divided into 3 types: parenchyma, collenchyma and sclerenchyma. We will have to study their nature, means structure, where they occur and the function. First we'll see a parenchyma tissue. So this is this is the structure of a parenchyma tissue. So this is the structure of a particular cell. All cells are similar in structure. यहाँ पे शो नहीं किया है. सभी सेल देखने में ऐसा ही होगा पेरेन्काइमा टिश्यू का. It's not shown here in the other cells. Okay, So parenchyma tissues form the bulk of the plant body. So bulk means most major part of the plant body is formed of the parenchyma tissue. Parenchyma cells are living, they are living cells and possesses the power of division. एक cell को हम living कब बोलेंगे? When it will contain what? साइटोप्लाज्म एंड न्यूक्लियस. एक सेल में जब साइटोप्लाज्म और न्यूक्लियस प्रेजेंट रहेगा उस सेल को हम लिविंग सेल बोल सकते हैं. Are living and possess the power of division. They can also divide. They have the power of division. The parenchymatous cells are oval, rounded, polygonal or elongated in shape. They may be oval, rounded, polygonal or they may be elongated in shape also. The cell wall is thin, cytoplasm is dense, contain a small nucleus and a large central vacuole. They have a thin cell wall, a large central vacuole. There is a layer of cytoplasm around this large vacuole and a nucleus which is embedded in the cytoplasm. Okay, so this is a typical structure of a parenchyma cell. And many parenchyma cells, they all together form what? Parenchyma tissue. Then occurrence. The parenchyma is widely distributed in the plant bodies such as वो कहाँ पे होते हैं parenchyma cells? Stems, roots, leaves and flowers and fruits. It is also distributed in pith, medullary rays and packaging tissue in xylem and phloem. So these things where it is pith, medullary rays. So these are some structures. Okay, these terms pith, medullary rays and packaging tissue in xylem and phloem. So actually these are some structures in the different portion. It may be stem or suppose it mainly occurs in the stems. Suppose this is the transverse section of a stem of sunflower. Transverse means in this way. If we in this direction, if we make section of a stem of sunflower and observe it under microscope, then these structures will be shown. So here, so यहाँ पे देखो transverse section of a dicot stem. So this middle portion is known as the pith. So here also this middlemost portion, centermost portion, it is known as the pith. So इसी को अगर हम high power microscope में दिखेंगे तो ऐसा दिखेगा. So it is known as the pith. There are some ray-like structures, medullary rays. It's not shown here. There are some ray-like structures which are known as this medullary ray. यहाँ पे शो नहीं किया है. Medullary rays is not shown here. Okay, and packaging tissue in xylem and phloem. So this parenchyma tissue, they will study xylem and phloem later on. They act as packaging tissue, means they occur in between the cells of xylem and phloem. See this parenchyma of medullary ray, they occur in between this. So this is xylem, protoxylem, metaxylem, ये phloem है. So they occur in between. This is the parenchyma of medullary ray. They occur in between the xylem and phloem and they act as a packaging material. Next, function of parenchyma. It serves as a food storage tissue. In parenchyma tissue, the plant stores its food, so we can call it as a food storage tissue. Parenchyma serves as a packaging tissue. It serves as a packaging tissue. Packaging मतलब suppose ओके, यू आर सेंडिंग समथिंग। सपोज एक जब हम एक सपोज कप खरीदते हैं या कुछ सपोज क्या बोलते हैं उसे, सपोज वेन एवर वी बाई एनी आइटम, सपोज ऑनलाइन जब हम बाई करते हैं सपोज कुछ, तो देन it's wrapped around bubble wrap to prevent it from damage. Okay, so it's the bubble wrap acts as what, packaging material. So like this, to fill gaps in some other cells or some other tissues, more specifically the parenchyma cells are responsible. So similarly, to fill the gaps between the xylem and phloem, the parenchyma cells are responsible, and this is why they act as what, packaging material. Okay, to fill the spaces and maintain the shape and firmness of the plant due to its turgid cells. The cells of the parenchyma, they are turgid, means they have a turgidity or a constant size and shape of the cells. This, and due to this turgid cells, they maintain the shape and firmness of the plant. They provide a rigid and fixed structure to the plant. The parenchyma acts as a primary support to the stem of the herbaceous plant. So जो small plants है, the herbs, this parenchyma, as the cells of the parenchyma are turgid, they provide strength and firmness and support to the stem of small herbaceous plants, herbs. If chloroplast is present in the parenchyma tissue, is called chlorenchyma, and it performs photosynthesis. So अगर chloroplast present रहा parenchyma tissue में, then we can call it as chlorenchyma, and it performs photosynthesis. And due to presence of chloroplast, that parenchyma tissue will be called as chlorenchyma, and it also can perform photosynthesis. In aquatic plants, large air cavities are present in parenchyma cells in order to give buoyancy to the plants, which help them to float. Such type of parenchyma tissue are called aerenchyma. So as we have seen, the aquatic plants, they can float in water. Okay, suppose hyacinth, hydrilla. So there are some air cavities, there are some gaps or cavities or gaps where air is present, and due to the presence of air, it gives the cells buoyancy. Buoyancy means ability to float in water, and it helps them to float, and such type of parenchyma tissue is known as aerenchyma. So it helps the aquatic plants to float in water. In xerophytes or arid plants such as cactus, parenchyma acts as water storage tissue. So in desert plants, और desert plant को हम xerophytes भी बोलते हैं और arid plants भी बोलते हैं, because in deserts, as you know, there is scarcity of water, and there must be some water storage system in the plants of the desert area. Otherwise the plants will die out of water scarcity. So this parenchyma, they store water, and they act as water storage tissue, so that the plants can obtain or supplied water for a long periods of time. Next tissue we have collenchyma. Let us first see the structure. Yeah, this is the structure of the collenchyma. Transverse section and longitudinal section. Transverse section एंड लॉन्गिट्यूडिनल सेक्शन. किसी भी स्टेम को, सपोज इस पेंसिल को अगर हम इस डायरेक्शन से काटेंगे, हॉराइजेंटली काटेंगे, तो उसको हम क्या बोलेंगे, ट्रांसवर्स सेक्शन. इसको अगर हम वर्टिकली ऐसे काटेंगे, उसको हम क्या बोलेंगे, लॉन्गिट्यूडिनल सेक्शन. ठीक है. First, then collenchyma. Collenchyma tissues consist of living cells. Living cells matlab they will contain cytoplasm and nucleus. In collenchyma, intercellular spaces are generally absent by the deposition of extracellulose at the corners of the cells. So see, this is a typical structure of collenchyma cell. Okay, and there is no space between, suppose this is one cell, this is other cell, there is no space between the two cells. The space between this space between two cells is occupied by some deposition of extra cellulose. Cellulose is nothing but it is also a form of starch, or we can say carbohydrate. So between two different cells a layer of cellulose is present. This is why there is no space between these two cells, or the two cells of the, or the different cells of the collenchyma tissue. Collenchyma cells are elongated in shape, consist of a central vacuole. These cells are elongated, as you see, have a large central vacuole. Okay. Then a small nucleus, and around this vacuole outside there is a layer of cytoplasm. Okay. Structure is quite similar to that of the parenchyma tissue, but their shape is different and have a deposition of extra cellulose layer between different cells. Then occurrence. Collenchyma tissues are generally found in the leaf stalk below the epidermis and leaf midribs. So it's generally found in the leaf stalks below the epidermis. Leaf का stalk मतलब the portion which is connected to the stem. Leaf stalk. Leaves. Suppose this is a leaf. Okay, and this is the leaf stalk. इसको हम क्या बोलेंगे? Leaf stalk. And which is called the midrib. This line which passes along the middle portion of the leaf, इसको हम क्या बोलते हैं? Midrib. Okay. So collenchyma tissues, they are found in leaf stalk below the epidermis. So epidermis means the outer layer of cells. The outer layer of cells we call it as epidermis and leaf midribs. Then function of collenchyma, it provides mechanical support and elasticity or flexibility to the plants. प्लांट को क्या प्रोवाइड करते हैं? मैकेनिकल सपोर्ट देता है और एंड इलास्टिसिटी और फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी टू प्लांट. सपोज लीफ का जो स्टॉक है वी कैन बेंड इट नो. ओके, लीफ को भी हम ऐसे बेंड कर सकते हैं अप टू सम एक्सटेंट. लीफ स्टॉक को भी हम बेंड कर सकते हैं. इफ इट नॉट बेंड्स then what will happen? Wind will break it easily. So what collenchyma tissues does, it provides elasticity or flexibility to plants so that it is not easily bent by wind or any other external force. It allows easy bending in various parts of a plant like leaf and stem without actually breaking it. I have already said प्लांट को क्या करते हैं? फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी प्रोवाइड करते हैं सो दैट इट डज नॉट ब्रेक इजीली. देन वी हैव नेक्स्ट स्क्लेरेन्काइमा. फर्स्ट विल सी द स्ट्रक्चर ऑफ द सेल्स. स्ट्रक्चर ऑफ स्क्लेरेन्काइमा सेल्स. सो this is a longitudinal section of sclerenchyma cells. First we'll see there are other present. First, sclerenchyma tissue is present. It is present in stems around vascular bundles, xylem and phloem. So vascular bundles हम किसे बोलते हैं? The xylem and phloem So it's not shown here. Yeah, it's shown here. See, sclerenchyma fibers. So it occurs. This is the xylem. Xylem and phloem. It occurs in the middle portion. This is the outermost portion. This is the cuticle outer covering. Then epidermis layer आएगा. Then collenchyma आएगा. We have seen. Then parenchyma आएगा. ये सब तो already हम पढ़ चुके हैं parenchyma. Then collenchyma will come. Then endodermis will come. Then will come the sclerenchyma layer. उसके बाद xylem और phloem आएगा. ठीक है. So it is present in between. Where is it gone? Around the vascular bundles. So around xylem and phloem, in the veins of leaves, and in the hard coverings of seeds and nuts. Veins of leaves मतलब leaves में देखना ऐसा कुछ divisions होता है ना. So we call it as veins. Okay, so it's present in the veins of leaves, in the hard covering of seeds and nuts. जो seeds and nuts का जो hard outermost covering है, so it's present there also. The cells of sclerenchyma tissue are dead. So one more thing, the sclerenchyma tissue are dead. मतलब there is no any cytoplasm or nucleus in the cells of the sclerenchyma tissue, and the cells in which no cytoplasm or nucleus is present, we can call it as dead cells. The cells are long and narrow in appearance. So these are the cells. Okay, so this is the structure of the sclerenchyma cells. They are long and narrow in appearance. Then the cell walls of sclerenchyma are generally thickened due to deposition of lignin. So lignin is a substance. It is a hard substance. Their cell wall is thick. The cell wall of the sclerenchyma is still thick. See, this much thick. This is the inner membrane. This is the outer membrane and outer portion. And in between this, there is deposition of lignin. And due to the presence of lignin, the cells are very much hard and thick. Due to presence of thick walls, there is no intercellular space between the cells, and there is no space between two cells of the sclerenchyma. दो cells के बीच यहाँ पे कोई भी space नहीं है यहाँ पे. ठीक है. Functions of sclerenchyma. It is known to be chief mechanical tissue which makes the plant hard and stiff. So it is responsible for providing hardness to a plant. Example, husk of coconut is made up of sclerenchyma tissue. जो coconut का जो outermost covering है, husk मतलब जिसको हम छीलते हैं ना, that portion, the husk of the coconut, it is made up of sclerenchyma tissue. This is why it is very much harder. It forms protective covering around seeds and nuts. So ये क्या करते हैं? Suppose जितने भी सीड्स है या नट्स है, सपोज जो कोकोनट है, इट इज अ फॉर्म ऑफ सीड ओनली. वी कंज्यूम द सीड ऑफ द कोकोनट ओनली, एंड द outermost covering, the husk of the coconut, it provides what? Protection to the seed of the coconut. Okay, so what we can say, and it is made up of sclerenchyma tissues. So what we can say, the sclerenchyma tissues forms a protective covering around the seeds and the nuts. It gives rigidity, means hardness, flexibility and elasticity to the plant body. So plant body में भी ये present रहता है, and what it does, it gives rigidity, means strength, flexibility, easily it can flex without bending up to some extent, and elasticity to the plant body. So these are some of the innermost cells of a innermost tissues of a plant body. मतलब suppose this is the transverse section of a sunflower plant, sunflower stem. So जितना भी हम अभी तक पढ़े हैं, almost we have what? The collenchyma, then parenchyma, then sclerenchyma. Now next we have Yeah, some protective tissues. So from the name you can say protective tissue matlab it provides protection to the plant. The tissues which provides protection to the plant, we can call it as protective tissues. First, epidermis. So epidermis is usually present in the outermost layer of the plant body such as leaves and flowers, stems and roots. So epidermis is the आउटरमोस्ट लेयर. तो एकदम आउटरमोस्ट लेयर हम नहीं बोल सकते क्योंकि आउटरमोस्ट layer is the cuticle. So after cuticle a layer of cell is present, and this layer of cell in the leaves or in the stem we call it as epidermis. So epidermis is one cell thick and is covered with cuticle. This is only one layer, not many layered, only one layer of cell form the epidermis, and outside the epidermis there is another covering or another protective layer which we call the cuticle. Cuticle possesses variable thickness in plants. So in different plants the thickness of cuticle varies. It is more thicker in the xerophytic or desert plants. It is more thick in the xerophytic plants because the xerophytic plants need to preserve or store water for long periods of time, and due to a thicker cuticle the rate of loss of water from xerophytic plant decreases. Cells of epidermis are elongated and flattened and do not contain any intercellular space between them. So the cells of epidermis, they, if I can see here, yeah, so this is the epidermis cell. So see, this is one cell thick and there is no, this is one cell, this is one cell, this is one cell. So there is no any space between two cells. Okay, and this is the cuticle. So structure, a vacuole is present here, one nucleus is present and cytoplasm is present. Then function of epidermis, main function is protection. It protects the plant from desiccation and infection. Desiccation means loss of water. It prevents loss of water from the plants. Loss of water होने से क्या होगा, the plant will ultimately die. And infection, it protects the plant from outer infectious agents such as different fungus and different types of bacteria. It protects the plant. The cuticle of epidermis helps to reduce loss of water by evaporation from the plant surface and also helps in preventing the entry of pathogens. So the cuticle or the layer which is above the epidermis, we call it as cuticle. So cuticle क्या करता है, it protects the epidermis cells from loss of water by evaporation. और भी क्या करता है, it protects entry of pathogens so that the different pathogens such as bacteria and fungi, this cannot attack the plants easily. It also protects the plants. The aerial surfaces of many plants bear cutinized hair over their epidermis. They reduce the rate of transpiration. So in case of many plants, suppose in cactus you can see the stems or the outer surface, they have many hair like structures. Okay, and these hair like structures over the epidermis, they reduce the rate of transpiration. Transpiration means loss of water from the plant body. So these hair like structures, they prevent loss of water from the plant body. Then epidermal cells of the root, epidermal cells of root bear a long hair like outgrowths called root hairs, which increases the absorptive surface of the root. So the roots also have some hair like structures, the secondary growth we can say, and these root hairs, they increase the surface of absorption so that water and other minerals can be absorbed by the plant more efficiently. Next we have cork. So cork is a layer formed by secondary meristem in plants and composed of several thick layers of dead cells. In a easy way, the outermost जो प्लेन का जो हम क्या बोल सकते हैं, बार्क भी बोल सकते हैं, द आउटरमोस्ट कवरिंग इन ए ट्री, जो ट्री का जो छाल भी बोलते हैं हम, सो वी कैन कॉल इट एज ए कॉर्क. सो इट इज अ डेड सेल. So cork is a layer formed by secondary meristem in plants and composed of several thick layers of dead cells. So it is several layers thick. So see, transverse section of a cork showing dead cells. So if we take a cork and make it a transverse section, we can see this type of cells, and these cells are dead cells because they do not have any nucleus or cytoplasm with no intercellular spaces, and the cells of this cork, they do not have any space in between them. So we can say these are cells which are compactly packed and they do not have any space between them. They form the outer layer of old tree trunks. As I have already said, tree trunk, the body of a tree, it forms the outermost layer. Cork cells have a chemical called suberin in their walls that makes them impermeable to gases and water. So these cork cells, they act as a kind of water resistant layer because these are the waxy type of substance known as suberin is present in their cell walls, in the cell walls of the cork, and it makes them impermeable to gases and water, and gases and water cannot enter inside the stem of the plant through this cork because it is impermeable or water resistant to gases and different gases and water. The main function of cork is it is protective in function. It protects the plant and prevents loss of water from the plant body. So as this cork, as it is water resistant, so it will not allow entry of water from outside also. It will not allow exit of water from inside the stem also. So it's protective in function and it prevents loss of water from the plant body. So as this cork is several layer thick, so it protects the stems from any mechanical injury or any infection of pathogens like virus and bacteria, and also prevents from mechanical injury. Cork is used as insulators, shock absorbers, and in making of sports good. So जो cork है उस there are some commercial use also. They are used as insulators. Insulators मतलब they may be insulators of heat also, insulators of electricity also. Through this heat or electricity do not pass. Then shock absorbers, they can absorb a good amount of shock, and in making of sports goods such as shuttlecocks, जो हम वो खेलते हैं ना बैडमिंटन का जो शटल होता है, द लोअर मोस्ट पोर्शन हार्ड पोर्शन इट इज मेड ऑफ द कॉर्क. देन क्रिकेट बॉल्स जो होता है इट इज ऑल्सो मेड ऑफ कॉर्क. सो in some commercial use also we can make use of the cork. Then we have all of you know what is stomata. Stomata, these are some what spaces in the leaves, these are some gaps in the leaves which may open from time to time and through which what gaseous exchange may occur, entry or exit of oxygen and carbon dioxide, and transpiration also takes place, that is loss of water from the leaves by evaporation also takes place through stomata. So epidermis of a leaf is not continuous at some places. So the epidermal layer which is present in the leaves, it is not continue, and so this is stomata. This is the structure of a leaf. so it is not possible to see. This is the microscopic structure. The epidermis or the outermost layer in a leaf, it is not continuous, and in some places some small pores or holes are present, and these holes we call it as stomata. So each stomata is bounded by a pair of specialized epidermal cells and guard cells. So each stomata, it is bounded by, so yeah, you can see here. So this is a stomata. Each of the stomata, it is bounded by a guard cell, and what the guard cell does, guard cell can absorb water. When the plants absorb water from the soil, and when water enters these guard cells, the guard cells swells up and it opens the pores of the stomata. Then gaseous exchange takes place through these pores. Okay, this stomatal pore is not always open, because if it remains always open, then continuous evaporation or loss of water will be there from the surface leaf. So these guard cells, what they guard the opening and closing of the stomata. When water enters inside the guard cells, the stomata opens, and when there is no water inside the guard cells, the stomata remains in a closed state. The stomata allows gaseous exchange due to occur photosynthesis and respiration. During transpiration, two water vapors escapes from stomata. So during transpiration also, that is the loss of water from a plant or from the leaves, this water in the form of vapors, it also escapes from the leaf surface through these stomatal pores. So up to this much we have completed. Next we have कॉम्प्लेक्स परमानेंट टिश्यू. प्लेन टिश्यू के आधा हमने कंप्लीट कर लिया है. नेक्स्ट वी हैव कॉम्प्लेक्स परमानेंट टिश्यू. जाइलम एंड फ्लोएम इज वेरी इजी टॉपिक, एंड आफ्टर जाइलम एंड फ्लोएम विल मूव ऑन टू द एनिमल टिश्यूज. ओके.